Hi, this is Mariami from Shamanessence, and the video I'm creating today is I'm going to be sharing with you, I wouldn't say secrets, but maybe secrets of the theme youthing. I'm very interested in this arena, and it's not a matter of just vanity. It's also definitely not just vanity. It's about quality of life and health and living longer. If one has a good quality of life, I wouldn't want to live too long if I was not well or having some kind of disease. So I'm going to share with you all the little things that I do, and I don't do all of them all of the time. I fluctuate, but some of them I do every day. For example, the structuring of water, which I have got a video on here in the Shamanessence channel. So please subscribe to my channel and you have access to all these videos. So the first thing that I have found profoundly effective for youthing is the power of intent and tapping into our innate wisdom. So I actually speak to my cells and my body, and not too often, I don't have to keep ramming this at them every day, but I just say, I am youthing. I sort of imagine my telomeres and my DNA sort of lengthening and slowing down in the aging process. So it's power of intent. And I do know in the future there'll be more understanding and knowledge about this as we become more conscious in humanity. But right now, we're sort of at the beginning of this new age, and we're becoming more and more aware of how powerful we are as human beings. And an important part of this was also releasing low self-esteem, low self-worth. So you did a lot of flower essence therapy and releasing trapped immersion, which I actually do for people as part of my healing practice, which I also can do long distance. So I often identify traumas from the past and release them that are often trapped in different organs, which we trace through kind of the Chinese meridian system. So often our traumas freeze us on an emotional, psychological, spiritual level. We learn how to cope, and we do cope, we survive, but it somehow kind of creates a reality that doesn't always serve us and actually ages us through just the exhaustion of exerting ourselves and trying to survive and trying to stay alive and be on top of things and be happy. So youthing, definitely a daily speaking into my heart, or just telling myself I'm youthing when I look in the mirror. Of course, I do face yoga. I've chosen different exercises to where the collagen is releasing to activate muscles, to sort of plump out the skin. So I help myself with face yoga as well, which I do almost daily. So that's a very big number one. The other video I have here is the barefoot, walking in nature barefoot, and you can watch that. Being barefoot will actually energize the magnetic field, because by nature we're not really meant to be in these sort of man-made caves all the time in front of screens of radiation. And so getting connected to the magnetic grid of the earth, which supports our physical body, because we're part of the earth. We're also animal. We're partly animal, so it's very important. So there's the another part of the youthing, or part of my program, is walking barefoot if I can daily, even in the winter. And then there's another video here on muscle testing for foods. So I don't walk around muscle testing at restaurants, and when people invite me to dinner, I eat within the range of food that I eat, what's put in front of me. But when it comes to choosing my food, I often do muscle testing, because just because it says it's certified organic doesn't mean it's necessarily healthy for me. So yeah, I have difficulty shopping, but yes, I muscle test my food. I ask the food if this is something that's going to make me stronger or sustain me. And I do have a video here also on Shamanessence about muscle testing for food. And then also another video here for structuring water, or using your hands to right spin your water so that your water is wetter. Help to reverse the detrimental effects of the taps, the pipes, or even bottled water that suffocates and dies. Sort of energizing, because water is huge. We're born 90-something% water, and as we get older, we become less and less water in our bodies because we dehydrate slowly and gradually. So I'm not a person who drinks enough water. I used to eat a lot of raw foods and got my fluids from that, but now I have to actually drink more water, and I don't like the water the way I used to. I went somewhere a few weeks ago here in Cape Town where there was an amazing river of sweet water, and all the water's coming out the taps there was coming from the river, and untreated. I think maybe it was a very, very small treatment of a filtering of some sort, and it was so sweet I couldn't stop drinking. I realized how thirsty my body was. So yes, so that we have there the speaking to ourselves, or just talking in the mirror and telling your body to youth. There's also face yoga exercises, which you have to be careful not to create more wrinkles with. You have to sort of teach those muscles to activate without wrinkling them, and there's lots on YouTube for that. I like the woman from Australia, Peter. I like her face aerobics exercises. She has about 3 series that are free, and muscle testing for foods. And then of course a great one that has really enriched my life is cold water immersions. When I used to come to South Africa in the 80s for a few months a year to be with my grandmother, the water here on the Atlantic side is extremely cold, sometimes as low as 8 degrees. And I had difficulty in the beginning getting into the water because it felt like a hammer on my feet. And I slowly, until I felt numb, and then I'd immerse. And I used to do this a lot, and I knew it had an amazing effect on me. It just changed my health and my energy. I was living in Amsterdam in very damp, cold conditions, and I was sort of struggling with my state of mental health and physical health. And when I'd come to South Africa in the summer in these cold water immersions, for sometimes 20 minutes, 3 times a day. It was just amazing. And when I came back to South Africa 12 years ago, I was so upset about the pollution in the sea and the devers, the life force just not being as prominent as it used to be, the smells not being the same, the taste of the food. I just stopped going into the sea. I felt like one of those old ladies who sprinkles the water on herself. I was sort of afraid of the ocean, and I didn't like the pain on my feet. And then a group of my friends were Wimhoffing. They were basically... it really helped to go with a group of people, and Wim Hof teaches a pranayama, a type of breathing that just gives you like a really strong, it oxygenates the whole body and makes your mind very strong, and then you just don't feel the cold like you normally did. So I found the Wim Hof breath before I would emerge really helped me, but now I don't even need to do that. But if I'm feeling my body's getting too acidic and I need to alkalize, I will practice the Wim Hof breathing. So that's, again, something else you can find online. It's very easy. He's made it available for everyone. It's free to learn how to do Wim Hof pranayama, breath work. It takes probably about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's very meditative. It's wonderful, and it even has a free app, Wim Hof, and there's lots on the internet. There's a lot of scientists have been studying him because they've been injected with E. coli, and he doesn't get sick, and he walks the Everest practically naked in the snow. I mean, it's just all about the power of the mind and how we can get our immune system stronger and enrich our lives and lengthen our lives. So Wim Hofing, cold water immersion, or even just the breath or both is another one of my little tricks that I've been doing the last year, and it really helps to get rid of that sluggish depression and downness that we can have every day. It really just gives you a zest for life. It's just amazing. It's like one feels spirit inside and all around you in the ocean. It's just wonderful, and the colder the better. Okay, what else do I have here? Another way of oxygenating the cells, people can pay for ozone therapy, but it's way cheaper to look into a food grade 3% hydrogen peroxide. So I buy the 30% and I dilute it to 3% in distilled water. This is not something to just do lightly. You have to research it. You can poison yourself. You can really harm yourself if you don't do it correctly. I've had people arguing with me saying, I want to do 6%. I said, just follow the damn book. Don't go stronger than 3%, and do it on an empty stomach. And don't do it all the time unless you've got some kind of disease. I muscle test for when is the good time for me to do the hydrogen peroxide internally. So these are lots of things for you to look into. Don't try to do all of it once. See which one resonates with you, and try it out, experiment on yourself. And then, of course, you can incorporate it into your way of living. And of course, as a dancer, I need to move. I do the Feldenkrais method, somatic movement education, even some Alexander technique. Dancing is like as good as going into the cold water. It's just amazing. I don't do enough of that anymore. And yoga, I teach yoga, and I also go to classes when I can. So there's so much out there. It all depends on what's your cup of tea, but definitely connecting to your innate wisdom, starting to trust your feeling and intuition, asking for what you want in life, and just allowing life to deliver the information you need. So if youthing is what you're interested in, there's a whole list I just gave you on things that you may be interested in. And if you want to book or have a session with me, I can also give you a free discovery call when we just work for free for half an hour and see what it is that you want to work on. And I have a whole series of 12 sessions special, and I have a 6 session special for healing. But everything I've given you right now is basically the things that I find are just amazing to stay young and to stay healthy and to stay enthusiastic and joyful about life. Thank you.